Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thank you for watching us tonight. No talking points memo because we have an extensive interview with Senator John McCain. I spoke with him a few hours ago, and tonight we'll concentrate on how he thinks he can beat Barack Obama and what he's going to do about gas prices, sanctuary cities, and other vexing problems. As you may know, Mr. McCain is 71 years old, has been in the Senate for more than 21 years, and pulled off a stunning upset to get the Republican nomination. Last summer, most pundits thought he was dead in the water, but Senator McCain saw it differently. Now, he's up against a young, charismatic politician who himself has pulled off a stunning upset. All right, you're going to be running against Barack Obama, it looks like. What's his main weakness? Inexperience.
I think inexperience and lack of judgment, and a record that shows that, whether it be showing a desire to sit down with the president of Iran, who has articulated his country's commitment to the extinction of the State of Israel, to wanting to raise people's taxes. There's 100 million people that are dependent on capital gains. He wants to raise their taxes, people who save their hard-earned money every month and put it into some kind of investment. So I think it's inexperience and judgment and vision.
He says that we have to talk to Iran and our enemies. We have to engage them to bring down the tension, and that you're part of the Bush machine, and that you're just going to keep the same conflicts rolling ad infinitum.
If you're going to sit down with someone like Ahmadinejad, who comes here to New York City and says they are going to, quote, wipe Israel off the map, then you enhance their prestige. Now, if the president of Iran wants to sit down and talk seriously and says that that they will abandon that horrible commitment, then maybe there's some room for discussion. But all you do is enhance their prestige. The same thing if you want to talk to Mr. Chavez. The same thing if you want to talk to Raul Castro, who was the henchman in Cuba and still is for many, many years. Look, there's ways of communicating, and there's ways of enhancing the prestige of your adversaries, and what Senator Obama wants to do would obviously do that, in my view.
Senator Obama got real hurt on a judgment call with Reverend Wright and this guy, William Ayers, this Weather Underground guy. You going to bring that up?
In the case of Reverend Wright, that is between Senator Obama and the American people. He has said that it is a legitimate political issue. I condemn Reverend Wright's remarks. I think almost everybody that I know does, because those kind of remarks are very hurtful to our efforts to unite America. This campaign is not going to be about, in all due respect, about Reverend Wright or Mr. Ayers. It's going to be about vision. It's going to be about a plan of action for the American people who are hurting right now. As we speak, American families are sitting around the kitchen table. How are we going to keep our home? We recently and suddenly lost a job. That's the case of over 250,000 Americans. And we've got to fix this economy, and it's hurting, and I've got a plan of action to do it. That's what this campaign really is going to be all about. He's going to have his plan. You're going to have your plan. Okay. Well, I think they're going to be starkly different. Do you want the government to take over health care and have a major role in health care in America, or do you want families to make the choices? Do you want to raise taxes, or do you want to lower taxes? I don't believe you I think the worst time to raise taxes is in an economic downturn, and I won't do that. And he wants to do that. So there will be stark differences.
Like me.
Well, if you call 100 million people rich, if you call if you call people who now are paying into Social Security, raising that cap and now encompassing millions and millions of more Americans, working men and women, I don't think that's the rich in America, and I don't think that those people think they are either.
Okay. John Hagee is a guy that you sought his endorsement in San Antonio, Texas. He said bad things about Catholics and gays and other things like that. And your opponents are saying, hey, and McCain hangs around with Hagee, Obama hangs around with Wright, no difference.
I do not embrace a view that he stated about the Catholic Church. I steadfastly reject it and repudiate it. I've never been in Pastor Hagee's church. I know him, but the fact is that I accept his endorsement, which means he supported.
You went down there, had breakfast with him,
Well, I had breakfast with him, and I've met with him. I don't embrace all of his views. He endorsed me.
Okay. You ready for the viciousness of this campaign? We understand the New York Times has, a squad of reporters looking to dig up any dirt they can on you. You know that, right?
Sure.
They're asking you. They're going to dig up any kind of deal they can and throw it just like they threw that other story on the front page. Must have been hurtful for your wife.
it's always hurtful when you see a story that is negative or...
Yeah, but this is more than that. The implication was that you're a number one, corrupt guy, and number two, kind of looking at other women. That was the implication by the New York Times.
We discussed it already after it came out, and I don't discuss it anymore.
But
there are negative stories that they have written since then, and I understand that. Look, I'm a big boy. I understand that this is going to be a tough campaign, and I also understand. Oh, sure. Listen, Bill, in all due respect, I've had tougher times in a political campaign, my friend, and I know how to stand up to it. Sometimes I worry about my family, obviously, because and that was one of the factors that was considered when we decided to run again for the presidency.
They're going to smear and slime you like crazy. You know that.
But I have the utmost faith and reliance on the American people and their good judgment.
And Obama's going to get it, too.
Well, look, I want to have a respectful campaign. That's what Americans really want. Every time I have a town hall,
these other guys because of the McCain-Feingold bill. You know, you see, be careful what you wish for.
The McCain-Feingold bill, except for increasing the individual contribution limit, did not affect.
But George Soros is the big beneficiary. He set up this $350 million apparatus to attack you because now he can do that. You know that.
It was already set up before. 527s are a violation of the 74 law. But look, before we get down into that minutia, this is going to be a tough campaign. 527s are there. We're not going to unilaterally disarm, but I'll run a campaign that I can look back on and say, as I did in 2000, and I have every other race I've ever been in, that was an honorable campaign. That's what I'm going to do.
Arianna Huffington says you didn't vote for Bush in 2000. She's one of these people who are going to come after you. On her website yesterday, somebody blogged that you collaborated with the North Vietnamese and they didn't torture you. This is Arianna Huffington. Now, Arianna Huffington flat out said you did not vote for President Bush in 2000.
What can you say?
Did you vote for President Bush?
False? Of course not. I campaigned all over this country for him.
So you voted for President Bush?
Of course, but I mean, that's a ridiculous question.
So she lied.
Well, I don't, frankly, I do not read Huffington Post. I spare myself that experience.
You voted for Bush in 2000.
I voted for Bush in 2000 and 2004. Okay. And not only that, far more important than a vote, I campaigned everywhere in America for him. I enjoyed it. I campaigned with him. I did everything I could to get him elected and re-elected president.
All right, when we come back with Senator McCain, we'll talk about illegal immigration, very hot one for him, and an issue that's caused him a lot of trouble. Also, his controversial votes on energy and how he's going to control the oil companies.